Good morning, dear children. Welcome back. In today's session, we will continue our learning process of Class 7, Term 2, Unit 1 in Civics, State Government. This is part 2 of the video. Come children, let us learn. Dears, before going into today's session, let us have a recap of what we learned in the last one. In the last session, we discussed about the central government and the election procedures. Dear children, we learned that India has a separate system of administration for the union, states and union territories. The power is divided between two sets of government, one at the center in Delhi and separate governments for all the states. This is called as federal system. And India is a parliamentary democratic republic where the President of India is the head of the Indian Union and the Prime Minister and all the ministers are responsible for smooth running of the government. This is called as central government. All the states and union territories have separate governments to run its own administration. Governor, Chief Minister and all the ministers constitute the government. The Member of Parliament is called MP. Member of Legislative Assembly is called MLA. Both the central and the state governments work according to our constitution. We also learned about the election procedure. For elections, the entire state is divided into several constituencies on the basis of population. Political parties nominate their candidates to each constituency. All the people residing in that constituency who has completed 18 years of age cast their vote. The candidate who gets the more number of votes is declared as elected and becomes MLA. Do you know, children, who is conducting elections in India? Yes, that is the Election Commission of India. After the election, the party which gets more number of MLAs is declared as a majority party. The governor invites the leader of the majority party to form the state government. The party which gets total number of seats next to the majority party acts as an opposition party in the legislature. All the MLAs of other political parties who do not belong to the ruling party are called opposition party. Dears, in this session, we will discuss the remaining part of the lesson. We will continue our discussion on the legislature, unicameral, bicameral and so on. Dears, I told you the lesson is about a conversation between the students in a class like us and the teacher. Now, one of the students, Shanmi, is asking the teacher something. Let us listen to what she wants to say.
It is very interesting to hear who are all included in the state government.
And the teacher is replying, yes, children, in the state government you have the governor, the chief minister, council of ministers. The governor is appointed by the President of India for the term of 5 years. So children, what all forms the state government? The governor, Chief Minister and the Council of Ministers. And who appoints the governor? It is the President of India who appoints the governor of a state. What is the term of the governor? His term is for 5 years. The leader of the majority party is appointed by the Chief Minister as the... Who is appointed as the Chief Minister? The leader of the majority party. And who will appoint the chief minister? It is the governor. The governor is appointed by the president. The leader of the majority party is appointed as chief minister by the governor. The chief minister, in consultation with the governor, constitutes a cabinet which includes members of his party as ministers. The term of the office is 5 years. So dear children, you have the state government. State government consists of the governor who is appointed by the president and his term is 5 years. And you have chief minister who is the leader of the majority party and he is appointed by the governor. And the chief minister, in consultation with the governor, will constitute a cabinet. A cabinet is a group of ministers which includes members of his party as ministers. And the term of the office of that is 5 years. Dear children, in the picture you can find the majority party and the opposition party. The majority party belong to a same party, or the party which has won the maximum number of seats will be the majority party, and that party will be invited by the governor to form the state government. Now the members of other parties who are elected will become an opposition party. They could be of different parties, but they will be altogether called as the opposition party. Now Laya, another student, has got some doubt. Let us see what is her doubt.
Teacher, shall I become the governor or chief minister?
So Laya wants to know whether she could become the governor or the chief minister. And the teacher is replying, yes, my child, why not? Why not, my child? That is very simple. Yes, even you too can become the governor or the chief minister. But to become a governor, there are some criteria. Which are they? You should be a citizen of India and should have completed 35 years of age, should have a sound mind, and should not hold any public office of profit. So, what are the qualities to become a governor? First one, he should be a citizen of India, and he should have completed 35 years of age, should have a sound mind, and should not hold any public office of profit. So, if you satisfy all these criteria, you too can become a governor. And what about chief minister? To become a chief minister, you should have completed 25 years of age. In the case of a governor, the age is 35, but for chief minister, it is just 25 years of age. And should be an MLA, or in case of an MLC, should have completed 30 years of age. So, if the person is an MLA and has completed 25 years of age, he can become a chief minister. In the case of an MLC, member of Legislative Council, he should have completed 30 years of age. Now, like everybody else, Arya also has a doubt. She is asking the teacher,
who is an MLC? I never heard.
Yes, that is right. I didn't explain it. Now the teacher is saying, usually a state legislature has 2 houses. A state legislature will be having 2 houses. They are the upper house and lower house. 2 houses are there for the state legislature. That is called as upper house and lower house. And this system is called as bicameral legislature. Bicameral, bicameral, bicameral legislature. That is, having 2 houses, upper house and lower house, is called as a bicameral legislature. The upper house is called Legislative Council. The upper house is called the Legislative Council. The members of Legislative Council are called MLCs, and they are not elected directly by the people. They are not directly elected by the people, but, dear children, the MLCs are chosen in the following manner. 1/3 are elected by the members of local bodies such as municipalities, gram panchayats, panchayat samitis, and district councils. 1/3 by the elected members of the Legislative Assembly, who are not members of the State Legislative Assembly. 1/6 are nominated by the governor from persons having knowledge or experience in the fields such as literature, science, arts, and cooperative movement, social services. 1/12 are elected by persons who are graduates for 3 years, residing in that state. 1/12 are elected by teachers who had spent at least 3 years in teaching in educational institutions within the state, not lower than secondary school, including colleges and universities. And dear children, in India, as of January 2020, 6 out of the 28 states have state legislative council like Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Telangana and Uttar Pradesh, with Telangana the latest one. Children, the lower house is called the Legislative Assembly and the members are called as MLAs. As I said earlier, they are directly elected by the people. In India, some of the states have 2 houses in their state legislature. But in our Tamilnadu, we have only lower house. This is called as unicameral legislature. Tamilnadu follows unicameral legislature. UNICAMERAL, unicameral legislature. So, usually state government, state legislature has 2 houses, upper house and lower house. That system is called as bicameral legislature. The upper house is called as legislative council, lower house is called as legislative assembly. The members of the upper house are called as MLCs and the members of lower house or legislative assembly are called as MLAs. MLAs are directly elected by the people. MLCs are not directly elected by the people. In our state Tamil Nadu, we have only the lower house and such a system is called as unicameral legislature. Now one child, Amar, has got some doubt. Let us see what he has to say.
Oh, now can you please tell me the powers and functions of governor and chief minister?
Aman wants to know about the powers and functions of the governor as well as chief minister. And the teacher is saying, yes, sure. The governor is an integral part of state legislature. He is very important part of the state legislature. The governor is the head of the state executive and has enormous powers. All the administration is carried on in his name. So who is the head of the state executive? It is the governor and he is a very powerful person. All the administration is carried on in his name. He is the chancellor of government universities in the state. Who is the chancellor of universities in the state? It is the governor. All bills become law only after his assent. He should give his consent, then only the bills will become, bills which are passed in the assembly will become law. He appoints important officials of the state government such as the Advocate General, Chairman and members of State Public Service Commission, State Election Commissioner, Vice Chancellors of state universities, etc. So what are the powers of the governor? He is an integral part of the state legislature. Even though he is not an elected member, he is an integral part of the legislature. He is the head of the state executive and has enormous powers. He is very powerful because all administration is carried on in his name. He is the chancellor of government universities in the state. All the bills become law only after his assent. He appoints the important officials of the state government like the Advocate General, Chairman and members of State Public Service Commission, State Election Commissioner, Vice Chancellors of state universities, etc. Now we will see the powers of the Chief Minister. The CM or the Chief Minister is a real executive head of the state administration. Who is the executive head of the state administration? It is the Chief Minister. He allocates the portfolios among the ministers. So he is the one who will be allotting the portfolios. What are the ministries they are going to hold? The Council of Ministers are collectively responsible to the state legislature. All the ministers work as a team under the Chief Minister. So Chief Minister along with his appointed ministers work as a team. Not only that, the Chief Minister formulates the programs and policies for the welfare of the people of the state. He only formulates the programs and policies. The Council of Ministers is collectively responsible to the Legislative Assembly of the state. The ministers are responsible to the Legislative Assembly. Children, do you know which are the three main organs of the government? They are the legislative, executive and the judiciary. Children, the legislative branch makes the law, executive branch enforces the law and the judiciary interprets the law. So the three main organs of government are legislative, executive and judiciary. Who makes the law? It is the legislature. Who executes it? The executive branch. And who will be interpreting the law? It is the judiciary. Now listening to this explanation, another student, Nadu, has got a doubt. He is asking the teacher.
Judiciary? Are you saying about the courts, teacher?
So Nadu is asking the teacher about judiciary. Judiciary, is it, does it mean court? And the teacher says, yes, you are right. The high courts are the highest judicial organ at the state level. It is an independent body. Or as per the constitution, there shall be a high court in each state. The high court consists of a chief justice and other judges. You can find a chief justice and other judges in the high court. And every state should have a high court. You can see, children, you have got a Supreme Court and you have high court in every state, and every district will have a district court. There will be a Chief Justice of India as well as lawyers who practice law at different courts. Dear children, the number of judges in the High Court is not uniform and fixed. The number of judges in the High Court may vary. The President appoints a Chief Justice and can hold the office until he completes the age of 62 years. So, the once appointed as Chief Justice, he can serve for 62 years. Apart from High Court, there are district courts and tribunals. Tribunals, tribunals. Children, a tribunal is a person or an institution with authority to judge or determine the claims or disputes. For example, if an advocate appears before a court with a single judge, could describe that judge as their tribunal. They ensure justice to the people without any bias, without any discrimination, without any partiality. They ensure justice. Apart from this, you have family courts to settle the disputes relating to marriage and family affairs. Lok Adalats or People's Court also have been established by the Government of India to settle disputes through conciliation and compromise. So children, we have the district courts and the tribunal, special courts. Then you have family courts to settle the disputes of marriage and family. Lok Adalat or People's Court to settle the dispute through reconciliation and compromise. Now let us move on to the summary of the lesson. India is divided into 29 states and 7 union territories, and each state has a legislative assembly. State executive comprises the governor and the chief minister with his council of ministers. The head of the state is the governor. He is appointed by the president for a period of 5 years. He is an integral part of the state legislature. The real executive power in a state in India is vested with the chief minister. The leader of the majority party is appointed as the chief minister. The chief minister and the council of ministers are collectively responsible to the state legislature. High courts are the highest judicial organ at the state level. State high courts have jurisdiction over the whole state. It is time for recap. Let us have a recap of what we learned in this lesson. In this session, dear children, we learned about the state government. Who are all consisting of the state government? The governor, the chief minister, and the council of ministers. The governor is appointed by the President of India for the term of 5 years. Who is appointed as chief minister? The leader of the majority party is appointed as chief minister by the governor. The chief minister, in consultation with the governor, constitutes a cabinet that includes the members of his party as ministers with an office term of 5 years. To become a governor, we learned you should be a citizen of India and should have completed 35 years of age and should have a sound mind and should not hold any public office of profit. To become a chief minister, you should have completed 25 years of age and should be an MLA, or in case of an MLC, you should have completed 30 years of age. Usually, a state's legislature has two houses, upper house called as a legislative council and lower house called as a legislative assembly. The members of upper house are called as MLCs and they are not elected directly by the people. The members of the lower houses are called as MLAs and they are directly elected by the people. Such kind of legislature is called as bicameral legislature. But in Tamilnadu, we have only the lower house and it is called as unicameral legislature. Indian states with bicameral legislatures are Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Bihar, Jammu Kashmir, Karnataka, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh. The power vested on a governor is very, very important. All the administration is carried on in governor's name. He is the chancellor of government universities in that state. All bill becomes law only after his assent. He appoints the important officials of the state government like Advocate General, Chairman and members of State Public Service Commission, State Election Commissioner, Vice Chancellors of state universities, etc. The Chief Minister is the real executive head of the state administration. The Chief Minister allocates the portfolios among the ministers, and the Council of Ministers are collectively responsible to the state legislature. We also learned that the three main organs of government are the legislative, executive, and the judiciary. The legislative branch makes law, executive branch enforces it, and judiciary interprets. Dear children, in the next session we will discuss about the evaluation, that is the book back answers. Now it is worksheet time, a small worksheet for you. Roman number 1, fill in the blanks. Question number 1. The leader of the majority party is appointed as dash in the state assembly. The leader of the majority party is appointed as dash in the state assembly. Question number 2. The overall head of the government in the state is the dash. The overall head of the state government in the state is the dash. Question number 3. Dash are the three branches of state government. Roman number 2, answer the following. Question number 1. What are the qualifications to become the governor of a state? What are the qualifications to become the governor of a state? Question number 2. Describe the powers of the governor. Describe the powers of the governor. Question number 3. Write a note on Log Adalat. Write a note on Log Adalat. With that, we wind up today's session. My dear children, thank you for watching. Please subscribe our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Samacheer Kalvi Guide. Thank you.